Paycheck routine that changed my finances forever. It's Friday, your paycheck just hit your account, you feel good. So you treat yourself to some takeout, maybe buy a few things off Amazon you don't even remember ordering, scroll a little, spend a little, and before you know it, it's gone. And you wonder, it's Tuesday, where the money went. It happened to me many times, but then I made a simple shift. I started following a paycheck routine, and I'm telling you, it changed everything. It's not some get rich in 3 days sort of thing, but it's real. It's something that helped me stop living paycheck to paycheck and feel in control. So, if you're tired of being broke by Tuesday, stick with me. I'm gonna walk you through the routine I use every single time I get paid, and trust me, it's not complicated. So, let's get into it. Step 1, know what's a need versus what's just a want. So first of all, when the paycheck comes in, I don't touch a single dollar until I do this one thing. I break it down into 2 simple columns, needs and wants. I used to think I knew the difference. Rent, need. Netflix, probably still need, right? No, it's not. Here's what I did to figure it out. I pulled up the last 3 months of my bank statements. That meant scrolling through all my little coffee runs, late night snack orders, random app subscriptions, everything. Then I grabbed a notebook and made 2 columns. On the left, I wrote down the stuff I couldn't live without, rent, utilities, basic groceries, internet, stuff like that. And on the right, all the fun stuff, eating out, Uber rides, impulse Amazon buys, even the game I only played once. That right column, it was way longer than I expected. And when I added everything up, it hit me. Most of my money wasn't going to things I needed. It was going to stuff I barely even remembered buying. So now I always do this breakdown before anything else. I treat my needs as the base cost of my life and aim to keep that under 50% of my paycheck. If your needs are taking up more than that, no judgment, just start there. Look for small changes. Maybe switch phone plans, carpool, cook more at home because little stuff adds up fast. And remember, the goal is just to see clearly where your money's going. Once you've got that, you're already ahead of most people. Step 2. Set aside 20% for unexpected expenses. Now, as life is unpredictable, you should keep something for surprise moments. I put 20% of my paycheck straight into an emergency stash. Not to sound dramatic, but life is gonna throw stuff at you. The car breaks down, job situation gets weird, you get sick, something always comes up. And the worst time to deal with that is when you're already broke. So, I made this non-negotiable. 20% goes into a savings account I don't touch unless it's a real emergency. Not a I want pizza emergency, a real one. Over time, I built it up to cover about 3 to 6 months of my basic expenses. It didn't happen overnight, but I kept chipping away at it. And let me tell you, just knowing that money's there changes everything. You sleep better, you make clearer choices, you're not constantly stressed about the next curveball. It's like giving yourself some breathing room, and we all need that. Step 3, knock out the debt that's dragging you down. Once I had a little emergency fund stashed away, that was enough to cover those emergency moments. The next thing I zeroed in on was debt, and not just any debt. I'm talking about a percentage of your earnings that quietly chew through your paycheck every month like a termite gnawing through your wallet. Credit cards, payday loans, store cards, the stuff with sky-high interest rates that charge you for breathing near them. It's sneaky how fast it adds up. You make the minimum payment and yet somehow your balance barely budges. I knew I had to do something different. What helped me was the avalanche method. I listed every single debt I owed, then sorted them by interest rate, highest to lowest. And one of the top became my main target. I threw every spare dollar at it while still making the minimums on everything else. So let's say I had a credit card sitting there charging 20% interest. That's the one that got my full attention. I didn't mess around. I cut back on eating out, paused subscriptions, and even skipped a couple of weekend plans with friends. That extra cash went straight to the card. And when I finally knocked it out, I felt good. Then I moved on to the next highest and just kept going. And you know why this works? It's like giving yourself a raise. Every high interest debt you wipe out is money you're no longer bleeding each month. It's a guaranteed return. There's no stock market guesswork. It's pure and steady progress. And yes, it wasn't easy. I had to say no to a lot of stuff I wanted in the moment, but every time that balance dropped even a little, it felt like I was lifting a weight off my chest. I wasn't just payer off a number, I was getting my power back little by little. If you feel like you're drowning in debt and don't know where to start, you can start here. Make a list, pick the worst one, and attack it like your future depends on it, because it does. Step 4, grow your money without overthinking it. Once I had my emergency fund sorted and knocked out some high interest debt, I started thinking long term. That's when I decided to put a chunk of my extra money, around 35 to 40%, into a tax-advantaged investment account. Now, the question is how to grow your money when it's getting devalued every single day you earn and income tax is taken out. You buy at a store and you pay sales tax. And even when you buy property, you pay taxes there too. Fortunately, I know something with which you can avoid paying capital gains tax on your investments, and it's completely legal. If you're in the UK, that will be a stocks and shares ISA. If you're in the US, the closest thing is a Roth IRA. Different countries, different rules, but the goal is the same. Grow your money without getting slammed by taxes later. These accounts let you invest in things like index funds, and the gains you make can grow tax-free. That's a big deal. Personally, I like to keep it simple, low-cost index funds like the S&P 500, not fancy, but steady. It's like historical growth over time. For me, this has brought in around 8 to 10% a year on average, completely tax-free. It's not guaranteed, and stocks can go up and down, but over the long haul, it tends to work out in your favor. Think about it. You invest $250 a month, every month, and let it ride with an average return of 8%. In 45 years, you'd have over $1.3 million tax-free. That's not a dream, that's math. You can even plug the numbers into a compound interest calculator to see for yourself. I'll be honest, this isn't a flashy or overnight wealth. It's slow, steady, and kind of boring at times, but it works. The trick is to stay consistent, even when it feels like you're not getting anywhere. I found the best way to make this happen is by putting it on autopilot. Set up automatic investing so that your money goes straight into your investment account without you having to think about it. Out of sight, out of mind, but in a good way. You won't miss it, and one day you will check your account and be like, wait, when did that number get so big? If you're thinking this sounds too basic, that's the point. You don't need to be an expert, and you don't need to pick individual stocks. In fact, I think most people should keep it simple. Pick one solid index fund, set it, forget it, and let time do the heavy lifting. This method became part of my long-term plan. Even while I was building businesses and other income streams, I thought of it as my backup plan, my financial safety net. Because even if everything else fell apart, I'd still be growing something quietly in the background, and that peace of mind is priceless. Step 5, save a little for bold moves. Now, this is where it gets interesting. I keep 5 to 10% of each paycheck set aside for what I call opportunity money. It's money I use to try new things, small business ideas, a side hustle, maybe a course or something that could level me up. This is not money I blow on random stuff. It's more like fuel for whatever's next. One time, I used it to buy a mic and started recording voiceovers on the side. Another time, I used it to flip cheap furniture I found online. The point is, it gave me space to explore without messing up the rest of my budget. You don't need a lot to start something cool, but having that little chunk of money ready to go, it gives you options. And that's what this whole routine is really about, building freedom, one paycheck at a time. See, I'm not some finance guru. I'm just someone who got tired of feeling broke, stressed, and behind all the time. This paycheck routine, it wasn't magic, but it gave me a system, something solid I could follow. Every time I got paid, I knew exactly what to do with my money. I stopped guessing, I stopped reacting, and I started getting ahead. So if your paycheck keeps disappearing and you're stuck in the same loop month after month, try this out, break it into pieces. Needs versus wants, emergency fund, pay off high interest debt, long-term investing, bold move money. Simple, doable, no fluff. And you don't have to be perfect. You just have to start. All right, that's it from me. If this helped even a little, hit that subscribe button and maybe send this to someone who needs it. And the next time your paycheck hits, don't let it disappear. Tell it where to go.